CAT leader from Einstein Public School. So my presentation is going to be about the role of my organization, which is CAT, standing for Children Against Tobacco, in sensitizing students against the usage of tobacco. So let's first have a brief introduction about tobacco itself. So tobacco use is the single largest cause of preventable death. I would like to emphasize on the point preventable. This is the kind of death that is in our hands. We can prevent it if we just stop the usage of tobacco. 9 out of 10 who smoke cigarettes started tobacco at the age of 18, and 14.6% of students in India aged between 13 to 15 years use tobacco. So with all this data, we can clearly see that it's really important for us to emphasize tobacco from a young age itself, so that when they go to college, they are sure that they want to make the choice that no, I do not want to use tobacco. Next slide, please. So here are the aims and objectives of CAT. The first thing is to sensitize students between 8 to 18 years to the harmful of the leadership programs where students learn to advocate, reporting violations against tobacco laws, and educating them regarding the anti-tobacco laws. So here is a chronological journey of CAT. First, in 1996, MAX stands for Marianne Charity Trust. It is the parent organization that initiated CAT. So they initiated several programs focused on child rights and child development. And then in 2006, an exclusive program for tobacco control was kickstarted. Part of this kickstarting, that was CAT, which is Children Against Tobacco. In 2007, we had Children's Federation for Tobacco Free World that was formed. And then in 2009, under the apex body, Children's Federation of a Tobacco Free World, a very specific program titled CAT, Children Against Tobacco, was initiated. So you can see the timeline in which we slowly started realizing that it's important to empower children as well and not just adults. So here are the activities of a CAT unit. I'll go over them briefly. First thing is to create a tobacco-free zone around 100 yards of a school. It's important because, as children, when we go to school, the things we see around are very important. Sensitizing our parents and community. We often talk about how parents, emphasize, their children, how they influence the children, but I believe that children also influence their parents. Next, conducting competitions like art, painting, essay writing. Literature and art can be a beautiful way to express, going against tobacco, so I think it's really important. Next one, conducting CAT's Day Out, which is basically monitoring tobacco-free zone around, and then conducting monthly meetings to share, evaluate, and initiating new activities. So this is CAT's Introductory Program. It's a 1-hour training program for children between 8 to 18. So here's what we do. Basically, we have an adult who kind of controls everything and also introduces CAT to the children. We also have a lot of storytelling. Stories are a really beautiful way to bring children into this world. So I think it's important to use the power of storytelling. We also screen a Third World War documentary movie which talks about how, tobacco itself is a part of this Third World War that's going on. And of course, we have a talk from a cancer survivor, which is optional because obviously it's a very sensitive issue. So whenever a cancer survivor is willing to talk, we encourage it because it's the best influence that can be have in children. So this is CAT leadership. So like I said, it's a 1-day training program and there are a lot of methodologies such as storytelling and talking and role playing, and CAT leaders are mainly from Chennai, Trichy and Coimbatore, but we want to spread it as far as possible. So here are the results of CAT. So as you can see, CAT has a hierarchy, but again I would like to mention all of them have equal power because we believe that everyone from the youngest child to the adult has a say in what is going on in their surroundings. So CAT executive body comprises of president, vice president, secretary, and they are elected by the CAT members. We have a CAT officer who is an adult who just guides the CAT members, a CAT leader who attended a leadership program, and then a CAT member who just attended the introductory lecture. So now I want to talk about my personal experience. Like I said, my father is sitting there. He is an oncologist. So I grew up knowing that tobacco is not good for me. But whenever I would interact with my peers, I realized that not everyone has the privilege of growing up in that environment, which is why I attended the CAT awareness 12th Mela in Trichy. After that, I attended a leadership program, and then I became a keynote speaker for CAT, and I spoke at multiple webinars because I feel like to CAT it's important to bring the student perspective as well. Next slide, please. So this is an example of the social impact that CAT has had. First things, we boycott many companies that initiate tobacco. For example, this company, I don't want to name them, they had a partnership with ITC. So ITC is a company that makes tobacco. So it's important because we see the ITC company and Classmate everywhere. Not a lot of people know that that company is also producing tobacco. So when they grow up and they're going to get tobacco, when they see the ITC brand, the thing that they remember is not tobacco. They remember the notebooks they saw as a child. So it's like subliminal messaging through advertising. And of course, this is the Tobacco Monitor app. This is the way we integrate technology. So Tobacco Monitor app is an app through which CAT members can report any violations that they see in our environment. They can also talk about the 100 yards violation, and also they can submit their artwork. And when we submit a violation, people who control the app, they can see it, and then they can process the complaint so that it can be verified. So these are some of the challenges. The first thing is that obviously in schools we prioritize education, and so it's very rare that schools take time out to talk about issues like these. Second of all, initially they have they're all very enthusiastic, but then as time goes on they lose the enthusiasm. So I think it's important to keep children engaged throughout the time. And then finally, despite all of these laws and penalties, the sales of tobacco continues. So these are the challenges.
Is it the last slide or you have another slide?
I think this is it. It's just the conclusion. So the conclusion is that finally I think what we aim to do is that every day we teach our children what is right and what is wrong. But in the face of challenges, in the face of trouble, it's important to show children how to stand up for it, which is what CAT aims to do. And CAT stands for social change, which doesn't begin with college graduates. I think it begins with children like me, children younger than me, which is why I'm standing here. So I would like to thank Cyril Uncle who's sitting there. Thank you so much. He gave me this opportunity. Thank you to all the CAT children. They are the reason why I'm able to stand here.